So, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is finally here. Okay, so, maybe I'm a little late. All right, guys, don't ridicule me. All right, it's on brand for me to talk about stuff after they come out. But I finally watched it. I saved myself for watching it on Halloween. And after I've done so, I have a few things that I want to say. Now, this isn't going to be like some of my other videos. I'm really just going to be talking here. There'll still be like a few edits, whatever. Don't worry about it, all right? I just want to, convey my thoughts on this. So let's go over some things that I liked about it. All right, so first off, let's just get this out of the way. The animatronics look absolutely baffling. I mean, they look amazing. And the fact that Foxy was the only one that wasn't piloted by people is kind of crazy. Now, they did switch between using humans and using what I believe are robots. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I done on my research, and that's what it said, aka 1 second of a Google search. All right, only the best for you on the Donkachi channel. The way that they move, the way that they turn was pretty good, and I don't think that they overstayed their welcome to the point to where it looked clunky or ridiculous. Now, on the topic of the animatronics, let's talk about the big bad himself. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, there's going to be a bit of spoilers in this. And that is, of course, William Afton, Springtrap. And now, I wasn't exactly sure what I was expecting, but let's stay on the topic of the suit. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about William Afton himself. Yeah, dude, the suit's really cool. And I loved the ending. I really liked seeing William Afton get spring-locked. I was going to be pretty upset if I didn't. Not sure why, because this is the first movie, but I was hoping to myself before the movie even started, I wanted to be like, I hope I get to see a man get stun-locked in a spring-lock suit and have his ribs crushed and every bone in his body get destroyed and locked in place for a solid minute. Now, it didn't last a solid minute, I don't think, but, that also could be just because of PG-13. But it was still pretty brutal, and I like the fact that they showed it in the first movie, because now we know what to expect. Okay, so now that I said it, the animatronics, a bit of a controversial opinion. The pacing was weird, all right? Now, don't get me wrong. I love this movie. It's a pretty good movie, considering that it is a video game movie as well. But the pacing just felt like they were cramming in a lot of stuff in a very, short time. It kind of just left some, plot threads. They were like, oh, here's introducing the idea of, Abby and, this new character. Right? And Mike Schmidt and also Vanessa. I mean, the way that they kind of just put it together was interesting to say the least, right? And let's talk about Abby for a second. I don't know how you guys felt about her. I've heard some mixed feelings. Some people thought that she was annoying. She didn't really do much. Honestly, she just said a few things and then was like, I hate you, seemed to be the main course of action, but I mean, she wasn't bad. I liked Abby. She's okay, she's just a kid. Now, let's talk about the weird stuff that's in this movie, okay? Vanessa being introduced, and also Vanessa being William Afton's son. What? I did not write that. What the I really said son. That's crazy. Vanessa being William Afton's daughter is an interesting choice, I must say. Because I was kind of, interested to see if William Afton and Michael Afton were introduced both in this film at the same time, but they're taking a completely different story route, which is fine. I did speculate, right, that they would try to combine the book lore in the game lore. I might be right. I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But still, introducing Vanessa this early makes me wonder where they're going to go in the future of it. They'll have probably a prequel with FNAF 2. I mean, if Mike isn't William Afton's son, and maybe I have this confused, then where do we go? If Vanessa is William Afton's daughter, then maybe it was an adoption thing. Okay, interesting choices making Vanessa William Afton's daughter, all right? That is a pretty interesting choice. And one thing that confuses me is how the pictures stopped them from killing. Would they just need a crappy drawing to convince them that William Afton was their murderer? Was that the depictions of their mind or whatever when they're all on the wall? You know what? I'm not gonna think about it too much. Brain's gonna hurt. I try not to do that too much with FNAF lore in general because, let's be honest, it's incredibly confusing. However, this movie does have a lot of fan service, including the funny Mad Pat Man and Corey X Kenshin. And you know what? That's fine, man. I'm totally okay with that. I love seeing them in this movie, even if it felt like not necessarily shoehorned in, but it was just nice to be able to see them in there and be represented in probably one of the biggest movies of all time. You know? So that was really cool. I was really excited. And the fact that Matt Pat said the funny, he said it was just a theory.
No, it's just a theory.
Yeah, no, I was so happy. I'm sure there were so many people that were like, he said the thing. He said the thing. He said the thing. You know, if you knew like what this movie was. So yeah, that goes along with the fan service. So the animatronics were good. Like, okay. And also the acting. Let's talk about the acting for a second, okay? Pretty believable. I think that William Afton was good role to cast, I think. It's no, I always come back from the games because I love his voice actor, William Afton's voice actor in the games. But it is good. You know, it's believable. You know, this guy's like a psychopath. You know, that's awesome. Though I will say, Vanessa just felt kind of, there was one part in the movie, right? You know, they're like Mike and Vanessa are like chatting and they seem okay. And then they go outside and it's like, I'll shoot you. What the heck? You're a police officer. Why are you threatening to shoot somebody? What the? So that was, a little, a strange choice of words, especially for her. It looks like she might have some of her dad in her after all. Not really. I think it was believable for what it was. And especially the main character, the Hunger Man's guy. Yeah, he was pretty good Mike Schmidt. I think that was fair. You know, he was a little delusional, a little traumatized, and I think he played the character pretty well. Again, good choice. It's just Vanessa's line seemed to be a little off, but overall, pretty good. I wouldn't say that it was bad acting. Trust me, I've seen worse. So, with Vanessa being included this early on, and this many cards that they placed down on the table, where exactly is it going to be going? I'm going to guess that the next movie is obviously going to take place in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 set, which would be awesome. I would love to see the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 set. Could you imagine all the new animatronics they can introduce? That's also something that I'm afraid of. Are they going to be able to introduce as many as they want to? Because the cost production is definitely going to go up. I mean, did you see how much they put into these ones? And introducing it into Five Nights at Freddy's 2, following the mainline games, is going to have a whole plethora of animatronics. It's just going to keep adding more and more and more. So I wonder how they're going to be able to handle that. I'm just glad that this movie exists. We've been waiting years for this. When I heard that there was rumors of a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, I almost didn't believe it because I really like FNAF. You know, I mean, I have a lot of videos on it. Obviously, I like it. And the fact that this movie just exists just makes me happy. The production of it is really solid. And I think that it was like they did a good job on it. Now, I do have a few problems with this movie, right? Now, I understand that it's a PG-13 movie, but it still feels like it's supposed to be a horror movie, right? And I feel like it's lacking a lot of substance. I think it's lacking gore. Okay, I would have loved to see just a little bit more. There was like a part where this like girl was about to stick their hand inside of like Freddy's mouth. For whatever reason, and then it got like her whole torso just ripped in half. It was crazy, and that was so cool. And I know that we're supposed to imagine exactly what happens. That makes it horrifying. It's just that if I'm supposed to be intimidated by these creatures and I don't see what they do, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about this. I just would have personally liked to see it because I like seeing those things in my horror movie. It makes it more jarring. It makes it like, wow, that's something to talk about. My main question is, how the hell did Freddy walk all the way to Abby's house and know where Abby lives? Do they know how to use GPS? Is that like built into their system? Obviously, there are some plot holes, but it's better not to focus on those because, you know, they had to progress the plot somehow. Oh, last thing I want to talk about, William Afton. I wish I would have seen just a little bit more of William Afton. because you get to see him a little bit, you know, being the sane citizen that he is in the beginning, but you only get to see him being screen trapped for a little bit, which makes sense because we already have all these different plot threads going on all at once. You know, you can't just cram everything in. Right? They try to fit as much lore in as possible, and that's fine, except for the fact that it might mess up the pacing. I would have just liked to see him a little bit more, but maybe we'll get to see that in the future, because a lot of people, as messed up as is, really like William Afton. Like, you guys are pretty sick for liking him like that. I can't tell you how many people on my timeline said, hear me out. Shame on you, by the way. If you know, you know. Comment if you've seen the FNAF movie and if you liked it. And hopefully we can have more chatting videos like this. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.